All right, we're going to go over the Earth and Space Science e-learning lesson plan. This is covering the last 6-7 weeks of school, starting on Monday the 30th. Is when we're going to officially roll it out. I don't expect anybody to really get on board until the following Tuesday. So, this document is to provide clarification on my e-learning procedures and expectations. Students will need to gain access to the book through digital or other methods and stay on pace for 6 weeks worth of readings, questions, discussions, and assessments. These assignments will cover the remainder of the school year. My education standards that I chose to focus on are as follows. Basically, we are going to be looking into plate tectonics, how it works, the evidence for plate tectonics, and how Earth is a dynamic system constantly changing. So my focus will be having students be able to explain what plate tectonics are, how they're formed, and then why the whole system works. Secondly, students will be able to explain natural disasters caused by tectonic plate interactions. And students will be able to explain how geologic time is affected by Earth's ever-changing surface. Also, how we're able to identify information from the fossil record in Earth's deep past. So, geologic time and the fossil record will be my focus there for the last couple weeks at school. I need to make sure everybody has a computer with internet. This is all going to work a lot more smoothly if we all have access to that. But if you don't have access, if you get an earth science textbook, lined paper, and pencils, and you could find a way to communicate with me on a weekly basis, either via email or phone, I think we're going to be fine. But we have to be able to communicate every week because I don't want anybody getting too far behind. How you'll be able to stay caught up is to get your points. So 4 main ways to get points. Number 1 is the 4 self-assessments on plate tectonics, totaling 40 points. 2 self-assessments on geologic time, totaling 20 points. And 1 unit exam for plate tectonics, 20 points, and a final exam on the geologic time. These are just basically out of the unit exams. We don't really have a final with all this stuff. So, procedures and expectations. I expect every student to check Google Classroom daily. So, any point in the day, I don't care when, just check for updates and changes to the schedule. There will be 100 points giving out for the rest of the school year. So, that means don't worry about weighted grades. The projects that I had before, there were 40% of your grade. I can't make sure you're getting done, so we're just going to do plain points. So 90 points and up is an A, 80 points and up is a B, and so on and so forth. So just to clarify, each week you will submit a self-assessment worth 10 points. 5 of those points are just submitting answers, and if you get those answers correct, I'll give you another 5 points. So this totals 60 points of your total grade. Turning something in is 30, and getting them correct is another 30. 2 exams will be 20 points each. That makes up 40 points of your grade. For example, by May 15th, the end of the year, Andrew does 4 out of 6 self-assessments. Just decided not to do 2 of them. Answers 18 out of the 20 questions submitted correctly. So, we'll figure that out later. He gets 13 out of 20 on his first exam and 19 out of 20 on his last exam. His grade for the 9 weeks is 20 points for turning in 20 questions, plus 18 points for 18 correct questions, plus 13 on the first exam and 19 on the second exam. Andrew gets a 70. That's 70 out of 100. That is a C for the 9 weeks, which will then be calculated towards his semester grade. Remember, this is your 4th period grade. We've already had 3rd periods, or 3rd semesters, third 9 weeks, and we'll calculate the average of the 2. So please make sure you're getting this work done. Each Friday, 5 questions from the self-assessment are due, which means if they are not turned in on time, there is a late penalty. Each week you wait to turn something in, a 10% deduction will be taken off. For example, if you skipped week 1 and chose week 6 to complete it, you will get 50% automatically deducted from your final score. A perfect 10-point assignment will only get 5 points. Notes, in addition, are highly recommended. So as I'm having you read your textbook, There is going to be you can keep a digital notebook or a physical one, but if you highlight vocab and summarize concepts, you're going to do much better on your weekly assessments and your final assessments. I can't stop you from using notes, so why not go ahead and encourage you to do so. So when you're reading, there's going to be this symbol here. Looks like kind of like a spiral notebook. So it's going to highlight questions and concepts that you should add to your notes. All exams, again, will be open book and open notes. I can't control it, so go for it, but you only get one attempt. I will take your first attempt on your exams. These are not quizzes, these are exams. Good notes will help you out immensely to save time and for you to get a better grade. The weekly schedule is tentative, so this means it could change and evolve as time goes on. I may substitute a set of 5 questions from the end of the week for a digital lab or a quizzes worth the same amount of points. I just want to make sure that we're all in this together, and it depends on how much participation I can get from you on the other end is whether or not we can do something different from time to time. I would definitely like to do discussion questions. Discussion boards are great at some point, and it may reduce the amount of, if you participate in those, I might reduce the amount of questions at the end of the week and just give you the same amount of points, kind of like how we did participation points. And just to clarify, there's 100 points at the end of your 9 weeks. This will not change. There's no extra credit provided. If you get a question wrong, redo it and resubmit it. Resubmitted questions will not be affected by the late policy. What I'm trying to avoid is somebody coming in the last week of school and turning in 6 weeks worth of work. So I will penalize you for turning things in late. Please make sure you are trying to get things turned in when I ask them to be turned in to avoid the penalty. I will be available to communicate with students from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Please use Remind to contact me. So just use your smartphone, go to rmd.at/7G472 to join my Earth Science group on Remind. That way you can text me, and I don't know your personal information. So in this day and age, I know that privacy can be important. So feel free to get on there. You can contact me via Google Classroom or email, but this one sends me an immediate notification, so it'll be I'll be able to get in contact with you much faster. So let's go over the weekly schedule. Starting next week, Monday, it's our last day of break. I don't expect all of this is going to be rolled out, so I don't expect you to be on too much. It's going to be a bit overwhelming. So Tuesday, we're going to do a check-in and see what materials you have and if you have access to this. On Wednesday, we'll go ahead and start our reading. Our focus, again, is plate tectonics in our book. That's Unit 6, Lesson 1, page 308 to 321. Hopefully, everybody can get on the student ebook from the HMH Ed website. The link is posted in Google Classroom. If you log in, it will take you to all of these assignments as I have them here, and you just go through it as it's shown on the website. So choose 5 lesson self-check questions to complete by Friday. So when you start reading, go ahead and skip ahead to the last page. So that's page 322 here. When you finish your reading, and just pick 5 of those questions. So as you're reading, you already know what questions you're looking for. So maybe you can skip some of the other content if you don't want to get it. And I want to see which 5 you choose. You'll get 10 points total if you get them all right. 5 points, again, just for trying. Giving me something gives you 5 points, and I'll give you an additional 5 points for being correct. And this is what we're going to do every week, okay? So, I'll see if I can show you on here before we go. But that HMH website's really good for this. If you just have a book, it's the same thing. You just got to do it the old-fashioned style with paper and pencil. So we'll continue this. We'll just do each week is a lesson. So week 2 is lesson 2. Week 3 is lesson 3. Week 4 is lesson 4, and then that's the end of plate tectonics. So we'll go ahead and have our unit exam at the end of the week. That's going to be a quizzes, or it's going to be an exam from the book. We'll see when we get there. That's 4 weeks from now. And I'll have that a take-home quiz. You get to use your book, you get to use your notes, and it's not going to be due to that following Monday. And then we're just going to start on again with the next unit. So we're moving on to Unit 10, Lesson 2. Unit 10, Lesson 2. Same thing. You're going to finish the reading, and then you're going to choose 5 questions. And just like before, you get 5 points for doing 5 questions and 5 points for doing them correctly. So that's then the second week. This is the week before the last week. Unit 10, Lesson 3. Pick 5 questions and do that. And then the last week of school, we'll have our last unit exam over fossils and geologic time. And again, this will just be a couple days at home, do it as homework, and there won't be a self-assessment this week. School is over, and then you're done. So keep in mind that any of this can and will be modified as needed to meet individual student needs. If your student would like modifications to the schedule, we can set up a phone conference time to see what modifications we can use. Please contact me at andrew.hogan@nsbsd.org or call or text me at 312-625-7618. That's my Google Voice number, so you can contact me there anytime that you want. My official office hours are 8:30 to 4:30. That basically just means outside those times, I can't guarantee that I'm going to answer right away. Okay, so if you have any questions, make sure to contact me. Let's go ahead and just quickly take a detour then to the HMH website. All right, so here we are at the website that I've posted in Google Classroom. Should look like this when you try to log on. HMH, that's the brand of the textbook we have. So I'll call this HMH Ed or HMH Co. When you sign in, I don't know if students will go through this phase, but I'll just show you. Pick your state, pick your district. So you just go through there, and we're looking for North Slope. I've already selected it, and click Next. Sign in. I already have my login saved, so you'll log in with your nsbsd.org login. And I don't think you'll see this, but I've posted assignments in here, and the very first one that I have rearing to go is print your student edition. So if you ever have issues with your computer, you always are going to have access to your student edition PDF. So I'll show you this here. So this is our textbook, and this is Unit 6, this is the first one. It looks like I have to post it lesson by lesson, but that's everything there that you need. So if you download that, you don't have to access any more internet than just that short download. And the rest of it, if you'd like, you can do on paper, or you can do in Google Classroom, where the assignments are going to be posted. So, but that is really small in comparison to the ebook. The ebook is really cool. So the student ebook here, I don't think what you're looking at is going to be the same, but I just go over here and I select our unit, and then we're going to open it. And it has kind of this just really nice interactive flow that I prefer. And if we're going to do this digital learning thing, then this is the book I want to go with. All right, so here we are on our ebook. I mean, just right off the bat, they got this neat little graphic. So in the regular text, you have a volcano, I'm sure, but you know, look at that. You get to see the smoke and the lava. That's just cool. The other thing is, I like reading just as much as anybody else, but let's say you really don't like reading. This plate audio
Unit
feature
6,
is really
Plate
nice.
Tectonics. Bardarbunka volcano erupting on Iceland in September 2014.
So it's not just some robot voice. It's a pretty good high quality studio voice.
Fissure eruption on Iceland. The island of Iceland has more than 30 active volcanoes.
Okay, so it's just reading it to me. Ooh, this isn't so good on a phone, but this is if you want to review or take notes. Notes, you can select text and highlight it and then take notes. So I took notes on something here, and it's just pretty cool. Anyway, here we go. This is what I was looking for. So when the guy's reading aloud, you can turn highlights on or off. So let's get this out of here. So let's say we're starting to read here. Hopefully it starts there.
Unit 6. The island of Iceland has more than 30 active volcanoes.
I want to move on. And here's the question. Again, these are where you would see that little evidence notebook symbol. So the E version, I believe, does it just like this. So it'll collect all the notes for you. So if you push play,
how can Iceland provide evidence to?
It's going to read it to you, and then you can type your question in. And just as a reminder, so let's look at that. Use your cool little microphone and keyboard. See, look at that, perfect. So you do that, and it should save it automatically. And then I should be able to see it as well to see what you've put in there. And this is what's going to help get your points for the end of the week. And then you just go through the textbook, pushing next. And again, if you don't want to read it, play audio.
6.1.
If you want to highlight it, the highlight's on there.
Earth's dynamic. In the late 1600s, English astronomer Halley knew that his model was hypothetical.
So that's our little thing there. When I assign an assessment at the end of the unit, I don't know why this is here. It doesn't want to go away. Lesson self-check at the back here. So it says you're going to pick one of the three. Don't do the crazy hard ones, okay? Just pick 5 of the checkpoint questions. Okay, so that's probably what we're used to. A, B, C, or D, a couple of explain-its. And again, the format for this is just much, much better than just doing it right out of the textbook. So again, just pick 5 and then read the chapter based on those 5. If you'd like to go above and beyond, I'm certainly not going to say no to that, but I am not offering any extra credit. So if you have any questions, again, feel free to contact me. But this is the textbook that we'll be using. If you can't use the online version, then the text can be checked out from the high school, or you can use the PDF version that you can download from Google Classroom. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.